Commander Zurak stood tall on the bridge of his massive starship, the pride of Zelnar. His 4 eyes blinked in sequence as he gazed at the holographic display before him. The star map showed the Milky Way galaxy, with a small, blinking dot representing an insignificant planet called Earth. "Sir, we are approaching the Sol system," reported his second-in-command, Officer Vexna. Her tentacles waved gently as she spoke, a sign of excitement among their species. Zirax's mouth twisted into what passed for a smile among the Xelnarians. "Excellent. How long until we reach weapons range of this Earth?" "Approximately 6 Earth rotations, Commander," Vexna replied. Zirax chuckled, a sound like grinding rocks. 6 days. In less than a week, we'll add another primitive world to the Xelnarian Empire. The bridge crew shared knowing looks. They had done this many times before. Find a developing world, overwhelm it with their superior technology, and absorb it into their ever-expanding empire. It was almost too easy. "What do we know about Earth's defenses?" Zirax asked, more out of habit than genuine concern. Officer Trell, the head of intelligence, stepped forward. "Our long-range scans show a small fleet of primitive spacecraft. They appear to use chemical propulsion and have minimal shielding. Their weapons are primarily kinetic and nuclear-based." Laughter erupted across the bridge. Even Zirax couldn't contain his amusement. "Nuclear weapons? Chemical rockets? Are we sure this isn't some sort of joke?" Trell shook his head, his antennae twitching with mirth. "No joke, sir. They're barely out of their stone age by our standards." Zirax turned to address his crew. "Well, my fellow Xelnarians, it seems we're in for an easy conquest. These humans won't know what hit them." As the laughter died down, Vexna spoke up. "Commander, should we prepare the usual intimidation tactics? Perhaps a display of our fleet's size to encourage their surrender?" Zirax waved a dismissive hand. "Why bother? Their primitive sensors probably can't even detect half our ships. No, we'll give them a surprise they'll never forget." Over the next few days, the Xelnarian fleet moved closer to Earth. Their cloaking technology kept them hidden from human detection systems. Zirax spent his time reviewing reports on human culture and technology, each one reinforcing his belief in an easy victory. On the 5th day, as they entered the outer reaches of the Sol system, Zirax called a meeting of his top officers. "Tomorrow, we make history," he began, pacing before his assembled team. "We will add the 127th world to our glorious empire. The humans, in their ignorance, don't even know we exist. Imagine their fear when our ships darken their skies." Cheers erupted from the gathered Xelnarians. Zirax basked in their adoration for a moment before continuing. "Our plan is simple. We will decloak our ships in low Earth orbit, simultaneously over all their major cities. Our weapons will target their military installations and government centers. Before they can even comprehend what's happening, we'll have neutralized any potential resistance." Officer Krull, the weapons specialist, raised a claw. "Sir, given their level of technology, wouldn't a single ship be sufficient for this conquest?" Zirax grinned, revealing rows of sharp teeth. "Where's the fun in that, Krull? No, we'll show them the full might of the Xelnarian Empire. Let them see the futility of resistance before they've even fired a shot." As the meeting concluded, Zirax felt a surge of pride. Soon, he would be known as the conqueror of Earth, adding another jewel to the Xelnarian crown. Little did Zirax know, but at that very moment on the blue planet they were approaching, humans were far from ignorant of their presence. In a secret underground bunker, deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Admiral Sarah Chen of the United Earth Defense Force stared at her own holographic display. It showed the approaching Xelnarian fleet in vivid detail, thanks to Earth's quantum detection grid. "They think they're being sneaky," she muttered, a small smile playing on her lips. If only they knew. Her second-in-command, Colonel Rajpatel, stood beside her. "They outnumber us 10-1, Admiral. Are you sure about this plan?" Chen's eyes never left the display. They may have numbers, Raj, but we have surprise on our side. Plus, she added, her smile growing, they haven't seen what our tiny fleet can do. As the Tselnarian ships moved ever closer, the human defenders waited patiently. Their ships, hidden in plain sight, were ready. Advanced technology, far beyond what the Tselnarians believed possible, hummed quietly in Earth orbit. The stage was set. The Tselnarians, confident in their superiority, were sailing into a trap of their own making. And humanity, united and prepared, was ready to show the galaxy that size isn't everything. Tomorrow would indeed make history, but not in the way Commander Zirax imagined. As dawn broke over Earth, tension filled the air in the United Earth Defense Force's hidden command center. Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the center of a bustling room, her eyes fixed on the massive screen before her. It showed the Tselnarian fleet, now visible to even Earth's conventional radar systems, approaching the planet. Status report, Chen commanded, her voice steady despite the weight of humanity's fate on her shoulders. Colonel Raj Patel stepped forward, tablet in hand. All systems are go, Admiral. Our ships are in position, cloaking systems active. Ground defenses are ready. The quantum communication network is online and secure. Chen nodded, a hint of a smile on her face. And our secret weapon. Dr. Patel reports all systems are functioning at 100% efficiency, Raj replied, referring to the brilliant scientist who had revolutionized Earth's defensive capabilities. Just then, a young lieutenant called out, Admiral, we're detecting energy spikes from the alien fleet. They're decloaking. On the screen, hundreds of massive ships suddenly appeared in Earth's orbit, their sleek alien designs a stark contrast to the emptiness of space around them. In homes and on streets around the world, people looked up in awe and fear as the Tselnarian ships became visible. News channels broadcast live footage, and social media exploded with panicked messages. But in the command center, Admiral Chen remained calm. Right on schedule, she murmured. Let's see what they do next. Aboard the Pride of Zelnar, Commander Zirax stood triumphantly on his bridge, watching as Earth came into view. Magnificent, he purred. Look at them. So primitive, so helpless. Officer Vexna approached, her tentacles twitching nervously. Sir, we're not detecting any response from the humans. No ships are moving to intercept us. Zirax laughed. Of course not. They're paralyzed with fear. Prepare the invasion broadcast. Let's give these humans a chance to surrender before we show them true power. As Zirax's smug face appeared on screens worldwide, Admiral Chen leaned forward, listening intently. People of Earth, Zirax began, his alien features twisted into what he thought was a benevolent expression. I am Commander Zirax of the Tselnarian Empire. Your planet is now under our control. Resist, and you will be destroyed. Surrender, and you may live as subjects of our glorious empire. As the message repeated in various Earth languages, Chen turned to her team. Well, I think we've heard enough. Colonel Patel, initiate Operation Trojan Horse. Raj nodded and spoke into his headset. All ships, this is command. Operation Trojan Horse is a go. I repeat, Trojan Horse is a go. Across Earth's orbit, seemingly innocuous satellites and space debris suddenly came to life. What the Tselnarians had dismissed as primitive technology transformed before their eyes. On the Pride of Zelnar, alarms began blaring. Commander, Vexna shouted, her usual composure shattered. We're detecting multiple energy signatures. Earth ships. They're appearing out of nowhere. Zirax rushed to the view screen, his four eyes widening in disbelief. Where moments ago there had been nothing but outdated satellites and junk, now sleek, advanced ships shimmered into existence. They were smaller than the Tselnarian vessels, but moved with incredible speed and precision. Impossible, Zirax breathed. Their technology, it can't be. Before he could issue any orders, the Earth fleet sprang into action. Beams of energy, far more advanced than anything that Selnarians had expected, lanced out from the human ships. They sliced through Selnarian shields like they weren't even there. "Return fire," Zyrax bellowed, but his crew was in chaos. The human ships moved too fast, their weapons too powerful. In the Earth Command Center, Admiral Chen watched with grim satisfaction as the battle unfolded. Dr. Patel's quantum drives and phased energy weapons are performing even better than expected, she noted. Colonel Patel nodded, awe in his voice. "The Selnarians don't stand a chance. They've fallen right into our trap." As explosions bloomed silently in space, Chen's expression hardened. "Let's not celebrate too early. This is just the beginning. Humanity has revealed itself to the galaxy, for better or worse. After today, nothing will ever be the same." The battle raged on, Earth's tiny fleet proving to be anything but insignificant. The Selnarians, caught completely off guard, found themselves in a fight they were ill-prepared for. Their mockery had turned to confusion, then to fear. Commander Zyrax, watching his mighty armada crumble before this unexpected resistance, realized too late the grave error in his judgment. The humans were not the primitive species he had assumed. They were a force to be reckoned with, and the galaxy was about to learn just how formidable humanity could be. The battle above Earth raged on, a spectacular display of lights and explosions visible, even from the planet's surface. Commander Zyrax, once confident in his victory, now fought desperately to maintain control of his crumbling fleet. "Status report," he barked, his voice strained with panic. Officer Vexna, her tentacles trembling, responded. "We've lost 30% of our ships, Commander. The humans' weapons, they're unlike anything we've ever seen." Zyrax slammed his fist on the control panel. How is this possible? They were supposed to be primitive." As if in answer to his question, a human ship suddenly appeared right in front of the Pride of Selnar. It was smaller than the Selnarian flagship, but moved with impossible speed and grace. "Evasive maneuvers." Zyrax screamed, but it was too late. The human ship fired, its energy beam cutting through the Pride of Selnar's shields like they weren't even there. Alarms blared as systems failed across the ship. Meanwhile, in Earth's hidden command center, Admiral Sarah Chen watched the battle unfold with steely determination. Holographic displays showed the positions of both fleets, with Selnarian ships blinking out one by one. "Admiral," Colonel Raj Patel reported, "the enemy fleet is in disarray. Their communication network is in shambles. Should we press our advantage?" Chen nodded, her eyes never leaving the display. "Initiate Phase 2. Let's show them what else we can do." Patel relayed the order, and suddenly, the human fleet's tactics changed. Instead of just destroying Selnarian ships, they began disabling them with precision shots to engines and weapon systems. Back on the Pride of Selnar, Zyrax watched in horror as his ships were systematically crippled. "What are they doing? Why aren't they finishing us off?" His question was soon answered as a transmission cut through the chaos on his bridge. Admiral Chen's face appeared on the screen, calm and resolute. "Commander Zyrax," she said, her voice firm but not unkind, "your invasion has failed. Surrender now, and we will spare the lives of your crew." Zyrax stared at the human in disbelief. Who are you? How did you defeat us?" Chen allowed herself a small smile. "We are humanity, Commander. You thought us weak because we kept our strengths hidden. That was your mistake." As Chen spoke, Zyrax saw movement outside his ship. Human vessels were surrounding the disabled Selnarian ships, not to destroy them, but to rescue them. "We're receiving reports from our crippled ships," Vexna said, her voice filled with wonder. "The humans are evacuating our injured crew. They're helping us." This act of mercy stunned Zyrax more than any weapon could. In all his years of conquest, he had never encountered a species that showed compassion to their defeated enemies. On Earth, in major cities across the globe, crowds gathered to watch the events unfold on massive screens. Cheers erupted as news of the victory spread, but there was also a sense of awe at the scale of what had just happened. Humanity had not only defended itself, but had done so with technology that seemed like magic. In a secure lab deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Aisha Patel watched the battle's aftermath with a mix of pride and concern. Her inventions, the quantum drive, the phased energy weapons, the advanced shields, had turned the tide. But she knew this was just the beginning. "What have we started?" she murmured to herself. Back in the command center, Admiral Chen turned to her team. "Prepare for Phase 3. It's time we introduced ourselves properly to the galaxy." As the last of the Selnarian ships surrendered, a new chapter in human history began. Earth had not only repelled an invasion, but had revealed itself as a major player on the galactic stage. Commander Xerax, now a prisoner on his own ship, looked out at the Earth growing larger in his view screen. He had come to conquer a primitive world, and instead had discovered a sleeping giant. As the pride of Selnar was towed towards the blue planet, he couldn't help but wonder what other secrets this enigmatic species held. The battle was over, but humanity's journey to the stars was just beginning. And the galaxy would never be the same again. In the days following the failed Selnarian invasion, Earth buzzed with activity. The defeated alien ships, now under human control, hung in low orbit like silent sentinels. On the ground, leaders from around the world gathered for an emergency United Nations session to discuss humanity's next steps. Admiral Sarah Chen stood before the assembly, her uniform crisp and her posture straight. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her voice echoing through the hall, "we stand at a crossroads. Our victory over the Selnarians has thrust us onto the galactic stage. We must decide how to proceed." As Chen spoke, screens behind her displayed images of the battle and its aftermath. World leaders watched and awed as they saw, for the first time, the full extent of Earth's hidden technological advancements. "For decades, we've kept our true capabilities secret," Chen continued. "The Quantum Defense Initiative, led by Dr. Aisha Patel, has propelled us centuries ahead in technology. But now, the galaxy knows we're here. We can no longer hide." In a secure room adjacent to the main hall, Commander Xerax watched the proceedings. He was no longer a prisoner, but a reluctant guest. His 4 eyes blinked rapidly as he tried to process everything he had learned about humans in the past few days. "They're so young," he muttered to himself. "How did they advance so quickly?" Back in the main hall, Dr. Aisha Patel took the stage. The brilliant scientist looked uncomfortable in the spotlight, but her voice was steady as she spoke. "Our quantum technology allows us to manipulate space-time itself," she explained. "This is how we achieve faster-than-light travel, advanced energy weapons, and near-perfect cloaking. But it's also given us something else: the ability to detect and communicate with other civilizations across vast distances." A murmur ran through the crowd. Chen stepped forward again. "What Dr. Patel is saying is this: we've known about the wider galaxy for years. We've been listening, learning, preparing. The Selnarians weren't the first to find us. They were just the first to make a move." As this revelation sank in, the UN Secretary-General stood up. "Admiral Chen, Dr. Patel, what do you propose we do now?" Chen and Patel exchanged a glance before Chen answered. "We believe it's time for Earth to take its place in the galactic community, but we must do so carefully. Our technology gives us an advantage, but we're still new to this stage." In the secure room, Xerax leaned forward, intrigued. He had come to Earth expecting to find primitives, but these humans continually surprised him. The discussion in the main hall continued for hours. Leaders debated the risks and benefits of revealing themselves to the galaxy. Some argued for isolation, others for aggressive expansion. In the end, a middle path was chosen. As the session concluded, Chen approached Xerax in the secure room. "Commander," she said, "we have a proposition for you." Xerax looked at her warily. "What kind of proposition?" Chen smiled. We want you to be our ambassador to the Selnarian Empire. Help us establish peaceful relations. In return, we'll share some of our technology with your people." Xerax's eyes widened. "You would trust me with this, after I tried to conquer your world?" "Trust must start somewhere," Chen replied. "Besides, who better to convince your people of our strength and our willingness to cooperate?" As Xerax considered the offer, activity on Earth reached a fever pitch. Scientists and engineers worked around the clock to prepare Earth's first official interstellar embassy ship. Dr. Patel led efforts to adapt their technology for diplomatic purposes, creating universal translators and holographic displays to showcase human culture. In orbit, the captured Selnarian ships were studied and repurposed. Human engineers marveled at alien technology, finding ways to integrate it with their own advanced systems. News of Earth's emergence spread across the planet. People everywhere felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. Humanity was about to step onto a much larger stage, and no one knew quite what to expect. As the newly christened Earth ship Unity prepared for its maiden voyage, with Xerax on board as a guest and advisor, Admiral Chen stood in the command center. She looked at the starry display before her, countless worlds waiting to be discovered. "Well," she said softly, "here we go. Ready or not, galaxy, humanity is coming." The story of Earth's tiny fleet was over. The saga of humanity's journey to the stars was just beginning. The starship Unity glided silently through the vast expanse of space, its sleek design a perfect blend of human ingenuity and Selnarian technology. On the bridge, Admiral Sarah Chen stood tall, her eyes fixed on the viewscreen showing their destination, the capital world of the Selnarian Empire. "Status report," Chen commanded, her voice calm but tinged with excitement. Colonel Raj Patel, now her second in command on this historic mission, responded promptly. "All systems are functioning perfectly, Admiral. We'll reach Selnar Prime in approximately 2 hours." Chen nodded, then turned to their unusual guest. "Commander Xerax, are you ready for this?" The Selnarian, still coming to terms with his new role as a peace envoy, fluttered his 4 eyes nervously. "As ready as I'll ever be, Admiral. I never imagined I'd be returning home like this." In the ship's laboratory, Dr. Aisha Patel worked feverishly, making last-minute adjustments to their diplomatic tools. Her quantum-powered universal translator was a marvel, capable of instantly deciphering and translating any known language in the galaxy. "Dr. Patel," Chen's voice came through the intercom, "we'll need you on the bridge soon. How are the preparations coming along?" Aisha looked up from her work, a smile spreading across her face. "Just finished, Admiral. Wait until you see what this can do." As the Unity approached Selnar Prime, the ship's sensors detected a flurry of activity. Hundreds of Selnarian vessels moved to intercept them, their weapons armed and ready. "They're hailing us," Patel announced, tension evident in his voice. Chen took a deep breath. "This is it. Open a channel." The view screen flickered to life, revealing the stern face of a Selnarian official. His eyes widened in shock as he recognized Xerax standing beside the human admiral. Before the official could speak, Xerax stepped forward. "Greetings, High Commander. I come with news from Earth and a proposal for peace." The High Commander's surprise quickly turned to anger. "Xerax, you dare return after your failure, and with the very beings who defeated our mighty fleet." Chen stepped in, her voice firm but diplomatic. "High Commander, we come in peace. We seek dialogue, not conflict. Commander Xerax has been instrumental in fostering understanding between our peoples." The Selnarian leader scoffed. "Understanding? You humiliated our empire. Why should we listen to anything you have to say?" It was at this moment that Dr. Patel rushed onto the bridge, carrying what looked like a small, glowing orb. "Admiral," she whispered, "use this. It's ready." Chen nodded, then addressed the High Commander again. "We offer not just words, but a demonstration of what cooperation between our species could achieve." She activated the device, and suddenly, The bridge of the Unity was filled with a stunning holographic display. It showed Earth and Selmar Prime, side by side, connected by streams of energy and data. Cities on both planets thrived, showcasing advanced technology that surpassed even current Selnarian capabilities. The High Commander's eyes widened in awe. What is this? Dr. Paddle stepped forward, her voice filled with passion. This is a glimpse of a possible future, High Commander. Our quantum technology, combined with your Empire's vast knowledge of the galaxy, could usher in an era of unprecedented progress and prosperity for both our peoples. The holographic display shifted, showing Selnarian and human ships exploring the galaxy together, discovering new worlds and advancing scientific knowledge. Xerax, emboldened by the display, addressed his former superior. High Commander, I've seen what humans can do. Their technology, their adaptability, their capacity for both fierce defense and unexpected mercy. They would make powerful allies. For a long moment, the High Commander was silent, his eyes darting between the holographic display, Xerax, and the human crew. Finally, he spoke, his voice carrying a mix of reluctance and curiosity. Perhaps we have been hasty in our judgment of your species, Admiral Chen. Chen allowed herself a small smile. That's all we ask, High Commander. A chance to show you who we really are, and what we can achieve together. The tension on the bridge eased slightly as the High Commander nodded. Very well. You have your chance. You may approach Selmar Prime. We will talk. As the communication ended, the crew of the Unity let out a collective breath they didn't realize they'd been holding. Chen turned to her team, her eyes shining with determination. Well done, everyone. But remember, this is just the beginning. We've opened the door, but now comes the real challenge. Building a lasting peace and partnership with the Selnarians, and eventually with the rest of the galaxy. As the Unity continued its approach to Selmar Prime, the crew felt the weight of history on their shoulders. They had come a long way from being mocked as a tiny fleet. Now they carried the hopes and dreams of all humanity as they took their first real steps into the galactic community. The Grand Hall of the Selnarian High Council buzzed with tension and curiosity. Beings from across the Empire had gathered to witness the unprecedented. A delegation from Earth, the planet that had so recently humbled their mighty fleet, now stood before them seeking peace. Admiral Sarah Chen led the human group, her posture straight and her gaze steady. Beside her stood Dr. Aisha Patel, Commander Xerax, and a small team of Earth's finest diplomats and scientists. They faced the imposing semicircle of Selnarian leaders, their alien features a mix of suspicion and intrigue. The High Commander, towering over the assembly, raised his hands for silence. We have agreed to hear the humans' proposal, he announced, his voice echoing through the chamber. Admiral Chen, you may speak. Chen stepped forward, her voice clear and confident. Esteemed leaders of the Selnarian Empire, we come before you not as conquerors, but as potential allies. Our victory over your invasion fleet was not meant to humiliate, but to defend. Now we offer you something far greater than conquest: partnership. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Chen continued, we propose a joint venture between Earth and the Selnarian Empire. Our quantum technology combined with your vast knowledge of the galaxy could revolutionize space travel, energy production, and scientific discovery. At Chen's nod, Dr. Patil activated a holographic display. The air above them filled with stunning images of advanced starships, thriving colonies on distant planets, and marvels of engineering that seemed to defy the laws of physics. This is what we can achieve together, Paddle explained, her eyes shining with excitement. Our quantum drives can make your ships faster and more efficient. Our energy weapons can be adapted to terraform harsh planets. Together, we could explore further and discover more than either of our species ever dreamed possible. The Selnarian leaders leaned forward, their earlier hostility giving way to fascination. One of them, a scientist by the looks of her specialized attire, spoke up. These achievements, they seem impossible. How can we trust that you can deliver on these promises? Chen smiled and gestured to Xerax. Commander Xerax has seen our capabilities firsthand. But more than that, we're prepared to offer a demonstration. At her signal, a small drone floated into the center of the chamber. It projected a shimmering field of energy. And suddenly, a piece of Selnarian technology that had been placed there began to change. Its structure shifted, becoming sleeker, more advanced before their very eyes. Gasps of astonishment filled the room. The scientist who had spoken earlier rushed forward, her instruments scanning the transformed device. Incredible, she breathed. Its efficiency has increased tenfold. The High Commander's eyes narrowed. Impressive, he admitted. But what do you want in return for this technology? Chen's expression grew serious. Knowledge, she replied. Your empire spans a vast portion of the galaxy. You have encountered civilizations and phenomena we can only imagine. We seek to learn, to understand the cosmic community we're now a part of. She paused, then added, and we ask for your help in introducing us to this galactic stage. Your influence could smooth our entry into interstellar politics and trade. The chamber erupted in discussion. Selnarian leaders debated furiously among themselves, weighing the potential benefits against their wounded pride. Minutes stretched into hours as arguments were made, questions asked, and possibilities explored. Finally, the High Commander raised his hand for silence once more. He looked at Chen, his alien features unreadable. Admiral, he began, your offer is intriguing. We cannot ignore the potential benefits of such an alliance. He paused, and the entire room seemed to hold its breath. However, he continued, trust must be earned. We propose a probationary period. A joint research station will be established in neutral space. If this venture proves fruitful, we will consider a fuller partnership. Chen nodded, a smile playing at her lips. We accept your proposal, High Commander. This is a historic moment for both our peoples. As the details were hammered out, Xerax approached Chen. You did it, he said, awe in his voice. You've changed the course of Selnarian history. Chen shook her head. We've only just begun, Xerax. The real work starts now. As the human delegation prepared to return to the Unity, news of the agreement spread like wildfire across the Selnarian Empire and back to Earth. The galaxy watched and wondered, what would this unexpected alliance bring? The tiny fleet that was once mocked had not only defended their world but had now opened the door to a new era of interstellar cooperation. Humanity's journey among the stars was truly underway, full of challenges, but brimming with unlimited potential. 5 years had passed since the historic meeting between humans and Selnarians. The joint research station, named Harmony, floated in neutral space, a shining beacon of interspecies cooperation. Its unique design blended the best of both worlds, human quantum technology and Selnarian engineering prowess. On the observation deck of Harmony, Admiral Sarah Chen stood beside the Selnarian High Commander, both gazing out at the stars. The view was different now, filled with ships from various species, all drawn by the unprecedented alliance between Earth and the Selnarian Empire. I never thought I'd see the day, the High Commander mused, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence. Humans and Selnarians working side by side, and the galaxy taking notice. Chen smiled, thinking back to the day when the Selnarians had mocked Earth's tiny fleet. We've come a long way, haven't we? Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of Dr. Aisha Patil and her Selnarian counterpart, Chief Scientist Xilix. Both looked excited, practically bouncing with energy. Admiral, High Commander, Patil began, her eyes shining. We've done it. The Quantum Fold Drive is ready for its first test. The Quantum Fold Drive was the crown jewel of human-Selnarian cooperation. It promised to revolutionize space travel, allowing ships to cross vast distances in the blink of an eye. Excellent work, both of you, Chen said, her voice filled with pride. When can we begin the test? Zillik stepped forward, his tentacles waving with excitement. We can start right away. We've installed the prototype on a joint design ship, the Starbreaker. The group made their way to the control room, where a crowd had gathered to witness the historic moment. On the main screen, they could see the Starbreaker, a sleek vessel that combined the best of human and Selnarian design. As final preparations were made, Chen couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought them here. From defending Earth against invasion to forging an alliance that was changing the face of galactic politics, humanity had proven itself a force to be reckoned with. Initiating quantum fold drive, Patil announced, her fingers dancing over the controls. The room fell silent as they watched the Starbreaker on the screen. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then suddenly, the ship seemed to stretch, becoming a blur of light. In the next instant, it vanished. Gasps filled the room. Had something gone wrong? But before panic could set in, Zillik shouted, "We're receiving a transmission." The screen flickered, and the face of the Starbreaker's captain appeared. Behind him, they could see an unfamiliar star system. "This is Captain Rodriguez reporting," he said, his voice filled with awe. "The jump was successful. We've arrived at the target coordinates in the Andromeda Galaxy." The control room erupted in cheers. They had just witnessed a ship travel to another galaxy in mere seconds, a feat previously thought impossible. As the celebration continued around them, Chen turned to the High Commander. "This changes everything," she said softly. He nodded, his alien features set in an expression of wonder. "Indeed it does, Admiral. The galaxy will never be the same." In the days that followed, news of the successful quantum fold jump spread across the known universe. Representatives from dozens of species arrived at Harmony, all eager to learn more about the human-Selnarian alliance and its groundbreaking technology. Earth, once considered a backwater planet with a laughable tiny fleet, was now at the center of a galactic revolution. Humanity had not only secured its place among the stars, but had also ushered in a new era of exploration and cooperation. As Chen stood before a gathering of galactic diplomats, preparing to address them about the future of interstellar relations, she caught Zirax's eye in the crowd. The former invader, now a respected ambassador, gave her a slight nod of encouragement. Chen took a deep breath and began her speech. "Distinguished representatives of the galactic community," she said, her voice carrying across the hushed room, "today marks the beginning of a new chapter in our shared history. The quantum fold drive is not just a human achievement, nor a Selnarian one. It is a testament to what we can accomplish when we work together, when we choose cooperation over conflict." She paused, looking out at the diverse faces before her, some human, some Selnarian, and many from species she was only beginning to know. "5 years ago, we were enemies," Chen continued. "Today, we stand as partners, ready to explore the furthest reaches of the universe. Let this be a lesson to us all. No fleet is too tiny, no planet too primitive, no species too young to make a difference. Together, there are no limits to what we can achieve." As applause filled the room, Chen knew that humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. The stars, once so distant, were now within reach, and the galaxy, vast and full of wonders, awaited their exploration.